Let's talk about how Lyft's response to the 70-30 split that we had mentioned last week.
Right.
And that was the external fees and the Lyft fee was switching on tipped trips. So that was what was going on. So we had shown these two screenshots last week and how the passenger payment was right around that $60 mark. The external fees was $16.49 and the Lyft fee was $20.84. And then it switched when there was a tip added. And that was the external fee went from $16.49 to $4.62. And the Lyft fee went from $20.84 to $32.71, which means that it could have impacted the 70-30 guarantee because it brought it in line right there where the driver wouldn't have gotten paid. So we were seeing this glitch and we were seeing other people who were talking about it and complaining about it. And yes, Lyft responded to it.
Yeah. Lyft did respond to it, and then I'm gonna read it from my phone. But can you put the old one back, the one before that? Okay, so last week when we showed it, we showed the trip with the tip first. It was like switched. This is the correct order. So this gentleman finished a reserve trip in Las Vegas, going to McCarran Airport, and then the original receipt was the one on the left, as you guys can see, with the estimated external expenses and estimated Lyft fee, and he ended up grossing 2165. And then about if you guys look at the screenshots up there, maybe about a minute apart, the tip came in, and when the tip came in, estimated external fees completely changed. It went from 1649 to 462, and Lyft fee went up from 2084 to 3271. I couldn't put the math together. We racked our brains, and you couldn't just come up with it. Why? What happened? So I sent it to Lyft, and thank you, by the way, for everyone who sent screenshots to me. I have some screenshots going back as far as March, Chris. This has been going on since March, actually.
Whew.
And I sent those to Lyft as well. After they responded to me, I sent them to those screenshots, and I'm gonna read what they sent me, and then I'm gonna read my response to Lyft. So, hey Sergio, I hope you're doing all right. We indeed saw your video and wanted to share a little bit of background from. I did a Sergio's Diaries video as well about the Hocus Pocus. Okay, share a little bit of background from looking into this last week. This is obviously super important to us, and we've been all hands on deck to get to the bottom of it. For your background, it looks like a handful of drivers ran into a bug where the insurance costs that normally go in external fees were displayed incorrectly when a tip came in more than 24 hours after the ride. It is a little bit of a falsehood there because that tip came literally a minute after it, because you can see the time code on the screenshots, 418 and 419. But it definitely had something to do with the tip. So if you completed a trip and the tip showed up, all external expenses and service fee completely got garbled. I've been told this was purely a visual display issue, though, and that driver earnings were accurate. Here's a little more. After each trip, insurance is calculated for that individual ride that goes into external fees. For this one, the external fees number was correct in the original receipt, the ones we showed you on the left. For a small subset of drivers who received a tip more than 24 hours or immediately after the ride, a bug in our system caused the insurance fee to incorrectly appear in the Lyft fee. In this example, 1187 was part of the insurance cost, and you'll see it made the Lyft fee higher than the bug placed it there, when the bug placed it there. This bug was only visual. The first receipt is what stayed in our system and used for earnings commitment calculations. In all instances, driver pay for rides was not impacted. Earning adjustments are calculated at the end of the week, not per ride. Even though this didn't change driver pay, I've been assured the bug has not been resolved. We don't expect this to affect any new trips moving forward. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have any more questions or you hear from community that this is still happening on trips. So if you guys are still seeing this, please send me these screenshots. Take one right after this trip is over, and then take one after the tip comes in. So it's pretty simple. And I responded to Lyft PR with this email, and I said, I appreciate Lyft looking into this and providing an explanation. Beyond this recent glitch, there is significant skepticism in the driver community regarding the 70-30 split after external expenses, a concern that has existed from the beginning. I've collected thousands of screenshots that indicate a lack of consistency in how Lyft and Uber calculate commercial insurance charges per trip. I've observed wildly varying commercial insurance amounts for identical trips with similar times and distances. My analysis of these screenshots also suggests that when external expenses are high, the Lyft fee is low, and vice versa. These two line items appear to be interchangeable, which significantly impacts 70-30 pay guarantee. For complete transparency, Lyft should provide a detailed breakdown for that line item, including commercial insurance, credit card fees, city-state taxes, and airport fees. The driver community strongly believes that Lyft manipulates the external fees and service fees to align closely with the 70-30 guarantee split. Furthermore, drivers are questioning why they should bear the burden of Lyft's external expenses when Lyft doesn't seem to account for drivers' expenses, which have increased by a minimum of over 25% due to increased vehicle maintenance costs. In addition to what I've shared, I'm attaching 4 more screenshots from March. These also show changes to the external fees and Lyft fees after a trip without and with tip. Although the changes are not as significant as the recent so-called glitch, it may have been going on for a while and we're just catching up to this. So that's my response. And that's what they said. So I take their word for it that it's fixed. But if you guys don't think it's fixed, send me screenshots.
One thing I always say is work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, then you may be working harder. So let's change that. Download the app, link your accounts where you can manage your income, track your expenses, and project your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download Solo and begin to work smarter, not harder today. Link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it. So in other words, the moral of this story is, oh, it's a bug. It's a bug. But you know what that means? That means we always have to stay on top of it now. So yes, keep those screenshots coming. Always screenshot everything, no matter what. You should be doing that. So you shouldn't have a problem getting these things or seeing these things, especially if you're tracking everything, so you can see all the numbers. Because at the end of the month, or I'm sorry, at the end of the year, when comes tax time, it's great to have all of the correct numbers, making sure that Lyft and Uber are giving you the correct forms with all the correct numbers on it. So yes, make sure you are tracking every single thing, including taking screenshots. So this is definitely something that we can easily keep up on when it comes to if there is some sort of discrepancy between these couple of fees that are happening when it comes to external fees, when it comes to Lyft fee, and if they're switching it between a tip coming in or not, or just in general. So
Yeah, I mean, I take their word for it that it's fixed. If it's not fixed, folks, if you guys are seeing it, especially after a tip comes in, send me the screenshots. I'm communicating with them. I clearly think the algorithm is setting the external fees because there's no rhyme or reason for external fees to fluctuate on a similar distance and duration trip. We've seen, 5-mile, 15-minute trip, external expenses, $5. This is in the same city, by the way. And then we see the next trip is $15. I don't know how they decided. And as I said in my rebuttal, I said, just to make things clear, the external fees line item includes commercial insurance, credit card charges, city and state taxes, airport fees. Just break it down. So we understand what it is. Because
Well,
a lot of drivers that talk to me and they email me say that they are too high. Like, how could commercial insurance be $40 for a 10-mile trip or something like that, right?
mhm.
So I don't know.
Well, we all know what happens is the particular the particular passenger, we'll call him passenger one. Passenger one gets to a certain point and they pay, and then all of a sudden the calculation has been calculated, and the commercial insurance is, oh crap, we were supposed to charge $6 more. So the next passenger, we'll call them passenger two, comes around. Passenger two has to absorb that $6 cost now. So they add whatever it was supposed to be plus the $6. So there goes your discrepancy of the $10 difference between what should have been what was. And so basically, passenger two is compensating passenger one for the ride that they took with passenger two.
Yeah. Anyway, the skepticism is there, and let's see what they come back with. I laid it out the way I've expected. I mean, my answer was pretty clear. I go, there's skepticism, then you're just playing with these two line items as it fits. And at the end of the week, 70-30 is coming, literally, it's getting fit, basically. It's a fit. It's a good fit at 70-30. So, yeah, I mean, we understand that. We understand
70-30 isn't really 70-30. We all know that.
Yeah, well, because that's why when those two line items are interchangeable, it's pretty easy for the algo to fix it and make it 70-30 at the end of the week. And we don't know. But if they really want to be transparent, because they sold this as completely transparent and fair, well, external expenses on an identical trip should not fluctuate wildly. I mean,
Sergio,
commercial insurance is 90% of external expenses.
Don't you know the definition of gaslighting? That's exactly what Uber and
No, I
Lyft
know
love
that.
to
I know
do.
that.
They love to
Yeah.
gaslight. Oh, we have never been more transparent. We tell you exactly where the trip starts, where the trip ends, how much you're making. But they don't tell you how they came up with that price. They don't
Yeah.
say, oh, the estimate is you're going to be traveling X amount of miles. We have a base rate that is going to be at that per mile rate. We can calculate that pretty damn close. I mean, very, very closely. You may have made a couple extra turns, which may take it off, but for the most part, it's pretty spot on. The time, though, could be potentially something different because there's always real world conditions that always change. There could be an accident, there could be traffic jam, there could be construction, there could be anything. There could be an emergency
No, I
that's
understand
blocking
that.
traffic.
Yeah,
All these
that's why.
things. So,
Yeah.
how they get to that actual price that they're paying you, it's up in the air. It's so opaque, you have no idea. So that is the definition of gaslighting, including what they're talking about here with the 70-30.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be any clearer of what I said to them, and hopefully they'll get back to me. I mean, they were gracious enough to get back to me with this little glitch, latest one.
Yeah.
And
Well, being all hands, that's good. But with that being said, it always comes with a cost, and that cost is you have to pay attention every single trip, because if this bug continues, yes, could it actually impact your earnings? Could it have an impact on the 70-30? For those people who are truly, truly watching what is going on when it comes to their receipts, now if there was a glitch for the couple of weeks, you could go back. Like I said, for those who are really watching and they're doing a per trip basis, they'll be able to figure this out. Were you at the right point? Did you make more than the 70-30 split, or did it switch itself around? So those types of things definitely need to really be in depth, because
no,
just take our word for it. Hey,
well, look, I
I'm
mean,
glad that
all
they
I
got
know,
it
look,
fixed.
man,
I'm glad,
I mean, I have
I'm
to
glad
take,
that they claim it's fixed, and I'm glad that they said, hey, let us know if you notice any more problems. Thank you. That's good, but the reality is there's a lot more to it.
yeah, we'll see what they respond, and then I'll read that as well.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club, with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.